from the WFP Innovation Accelerator. Welcome to our pitch event of the Adaptation Fund Climate Innovation Accelerator. My name is Regina Schmidt and I'm the moderator of today. A very warm welcome to everyone who is joining us online from all over the world. Let me give you a brief overview why we are here today. We kicked off the Adaptation Fund Climate Innovation Accelerator 18 months ago. It is an innovation program to source, enable, and scale promising climate adaptation innovations. The first cohort of our program focused on Middle East and North Africa, on the MENA region, and in particular on 3 countries, Lebanon, Jordan, and Egypt. So what are you going to expect for today? We're going to have 2 opening remarks, very insightful, and then I give you a brief background of the Innovation Accelerator, but also of the Adaptation Fund Climate Innovation Accelerator program. And then we are going to have live pitches and a fireside chat. And last but not least, we're ending with some closing remarks. So with this overview, I'm going to pass to the next to the first opening remark session, which is from Jean-Pierre Desmargeries. He's the country director from Egypt, and I'm looking forward to hear the voice from the field. Jean-Pierre, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Regina. Very pleased to be here. Good afternoon to all of you, to the guests, to the partners, and to the innovators. Very excited to talk about innovation, talk about resilience, to talk about partnership and collaboration. These are really true core values of WFP here in Egypt. I'd like to recognize the startups who are on the call today. Very much appreciative, looking forward to their presentation, to their pitch. Congratulations to them, to the 9 of them, for having made it up to this milestone. You will hear 3 of them from Egypt, P Vita, Noor Nation, and VAIS, all looking at addressing some of the climate-related challenges which are faced by the country today, some very serious challenges indeed. So I've had a first glance at these startup proposals. They're very inspiring, but very much needed. Again, to face these challenges today, we need these new ideas. We need this innovation. We need to learn from them to make sure that we can adapt and co-create to come up with the solutions that will lead to meaningful, long-term, scalable solutions to level of food insecurity, level of vulnerability, level of poverty that is being faced by tens of millions of Egyptians still today. I'd like also to recognize the great work from the Innovation Accelerator team in Munich. Relentless support coming from you. So thank you so much for that support, for monitoring these startups, and for helping us guide these new partners into this whole incubation process. Without you, obviously, this would not be possible. Let me quickly recognize also some key financial supporters, notably the Adaptation Fund and the German government. Last but not least is the strong partnership we have with a government partner here in Egypt, the Ministry of Planning, Economic Development, and International Cooperation, MOPIDIC, as we call them. So looking forward to today's discussion, looking forward to some great ideas, discussion intertwined with collaboration, partnership, and investment into some great new, innovative, lasting solutions for Egypt and beyond. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Jean-Pierre, for giving the first opening remarks. I'm very impressed, I have to say, on how I see the country office, how they're leveraging innovation in order to work on topics on climate adaptation, but also the strong ecosystem that you have in Egypt. With that, we are moving to our second speaker, which is Saliha Dobadic. She is the Programming and Innovation Lead at the Adaptation Fund. And I'm looking forward to learn more about this program from you, Saliha.
Thank you, Regina, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. As Regina mentioned, I'm with the Adaptation Fund. My name is Saliha Dobacic, and the Adaptation Fund is the only multilateral climate fund exclusively dedicated to adaptation to climate change. It has delivered over 1.5 billion to more than 200 projects in over 100 countries. Our focus and our mission are with communities where adaptation is an urgent necessity, therefore supporting the most vulnerable. So today we're focusing, of course, on the Adaptation Fund Climate Innovation Accelerator, or known as AFCIA. We recognize that local innovators understand local challenges better than anyone else, and we support entrepreneurs like you through AFCIA and our partners. In fact, the AFCIA partnership currently includes, in addition to the World Food Programme, of course, UNIDO, UNEP, UNDP, and the Pacific Community, or SPC. It is expanding to include the World Bank, EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the Development Bank of Latin America, or CAF, and the IFAD, and UN Habitat. And this global and regional partnership can open new opportunities for championing solutions that work. In fact, through our programs delivered so far, we have seen some outstanding solutions, and I will just mention a few of those. For example, in Tanzania, entrepreneurs co-developed a low-tech SMS early warning system with city authorities. This was supported by a $125,000 grant from AFCIA. And now this system provides real-time flood alerts to over 18,000 residents in informal settlements, so highly vulnerable population. In Malaysia, the AFCIA grant of $184,000 enabled the creation of a multi-hazard platform, which provides real-time forecasting capability for planners and coastal communities, which is strengthening preparedness for floods and storm surges. And this is serving 2.3 million people. Now, in Mexico, for example, AFCIA is enabling an innovative combination of traditional indigenous knowledge and modern water management techniques to reduce the vulnerability of crops and wildlife to extreme climatic events. The solution uses a technological package that involves the installation of fog catchers, water channels, and live barriers to increase the resistance of crops to frost and droughts. And in Bangladesh, a non-governmental organization called Footsteps, which is focused on social empowerment and access to affordable clean water, they have introduced an innovative portable water filtration system, which is capable of filtering 25,000 liters, a simple water system. This water system removes 99.99% of contaminants, instantly producing safe drinking water. So this means that they now have the technology, simple, locally appropriate technology that provides access to clean drinking water when floods happen. And once the floodwaters recede, the same filter can be used to purify water for bottling and selling as a safe drinking water. And this not only ensures clean water, but also creates an income opportunity. Furthermore, it was women who were trained to deploy and use this technology. And so they're especially benefiting from this income opportunity. So let me just quickly share a couple of insights from our innovation portfolio. First, it is clear that there remains a need for more flexible, early-stage resources that allow innovators like you to test ideas, to learn from them, make adjustments, and demonstrate what works in the local context. Many initiatives show strong potential, but require adaptable and risk-tolerant grants to experiment with new practices or technologies before they can expand. And second, beyond financing, it is very important to strengthen the ecosystem around innovators by supporting capacity building, access to technical and climate information, opportunities for scaled-up finance, and by creating spaces that promote locally led decision-making. When innovators have the skills and the agency to shape adaptation actions, we find that the solutions tend to be more effective and sustainable. There are a few examples of projects from our portfolio, AFCIA portfolio so far, displayed on the screen, and there are small QR codes there that maybe you can screenshot and potentially access the projects through them. But overall, just to mention that through AFCIA, we have now provided seed funding and technical assistance to around 70 innovators worldwide. These are the projects that have been implemented. And this is contributing to better understanding knowledge in various regions. By completing this incubation program, you are now joining a global ecosystem committed to advancing climate adaptation. So thank you for that, and let us continue to adapt, innovate, and strive together towards a resilient future. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Saliha. I mean, the World Food Programme, we are so grateful to be part of this partnership because it's quite a unique one to set up an innovation accelerator really to tackle climate challenges. So we're extremely grateful, and it's amazing to see already the traction that you have. Okay, I wanted to give you a very brief overview about the Innovation Accelerator of the World Food Programme. Our mandate is to source, to support, and to scale high-impact innovations. On the one hand, to disrupt hunger, but also to achieve the SDGs. We don't do that alone. We have many multi-year partners, public donors, Germany, France, Austria, Luxembourg, but we also work with many private sector partners like John Deere, Google, the Adaptation Fund. So these are very great partners for us who support us. The mandate of the World Food Programme is to disrupt hunger. We have two different strategic objectives. On the one hand, effective emergency preparedness and response, but also to reduce the needs and enhance resilience of communities to withstand shocks. So here are a couple of innovations from our scaling portfolio. So we have the biggest blockchain solution in our portfolio, which is used in cash-based transfer, recently implemented in Ukraine. With Scout is an AI-powered supply chain optimization tool. So this is more on the humanitarian side. But there are many solutions on the development side, like Ignicia. It's a localized weather forecasting, more granular than global systems, particularly helping in the tropics. Or Sanko, which is a fortified food fortification tool and technical support, who has served already 25 million people. So our portfolio is quite diverse, and we really believe that innovation can make the change. Let me go to the next one. A decade of innovation. The accelerator had been founded 10 years ago. During these 10 years, we've supported more than 500 innovators around the globe. We've catalyzed more than 300 million of grant funding and reached 90 countries in the world. Last year, our innovations reached 61 million people. So this is one decade of innovation, and we strongly believe that innovation can tackle climate challenges. This is why I was saying we are very happy to be part of this partnership. What we wanted to achieve with this program is, on the one hand, to identify, support, and scale climate adaptation innovations, but we also want to strengthen local communities and build capacities on the ground. And last but not least, sessions like this one, we want to share the knowledge to a broader community. These are our program components. We have 4 different cohorts. The first one, as I mentioned, started in the MENA regions in the 3 countries, Lebanon, Egypt, and Jordan. And with each of the countries, we started with an inception workshop where we were trying to understand what are the challenges on the ground, together with the governments, with the country offices, with the accelerator, with local stakeholders, really to understand what are the needs on the ground. From there, we launched a global challenge where we have received more than 300 applications. We invited 10 teams to Munich for a 1-week bootcamp, which was very intensive to work on their solutions. And then we selected 9 ventures for a sprint support, which are now piloted in the field. This is a 9-month support where they get technical, but also financial support. And the results of these sprints pilots you are hearing today. And with this background, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Sewai Q, who is the country lead for ACHIP and who is now your live pitch moderator. Sewai, over to you.
Thank you, Regina, for setting the scene. Now we are ready for an afternoon of impact featuring 9 pitches. So for this part, it will be divided into 3 main segments. First, we will hear from 3 innovators from Lebanon, followed by an insightful fireside chat. Then we'll continue with 6 more pitches from Jordan and Egypt. Each presenter will have just under 3 minutes to share their solutions and the impacts of the pilots. So prepare to be inspired by their visions and creativity. Now let's kick off this session with an innovation that is reducing fertilizer use and restoring soil health. Please welcome Margot Murat from Rammer. Margot, over to you.
Hello, hi everyone. Years of overusing chemical fertilizers and pesticides have damaged our soil. They have whipped out the beneficial bacteria and fungi that plants depend on. As a result, farmers are facing declining soil health and reduced productivity. These chemicals not only harm the environment and the human health, but also leave high residue levels that prevent export opportunities. Combined with growing climate-related challenges, our entire food system is under serious pressure. It's time to stop treating the symptoms and start healing the soil. This is what we do at Rammer. We bring life back to the land by restoring the beneficial microorganisms that are essential for healthy plant growth. So we produce growth, a liquid biofertilizer made from beneficial, I lost the control. So we produce growth, a liquid biofertilizer made from beneficial bacteria and fungi, easy to apply through irrigation and works on all types of crops. Trials with the Lebanese University and St. Joseph University showed higher soil fertility, better yields, and stronger drought tolerance and lower chemical use. During the spring season, farmers achieved remarkable results using growth. Potato yield increased by 42%, cucumber production doubled, and tomato harvest increased by 30%, while chemical input use was reduced by 70%. The market is huge. The 231,000 hectares of farmland in Lebanon equal $57 million, market that may rise to 150 billion in the MENA region and more than 1 trillion worldwide. In just 2 years, we have already reached more than 1,005 hectares. We are investing in R&D to turn growth from liquid to powder, which will extend shelf life and make it export ready, while reducing plastic waste and water usage, and also expanding our portfolio of biological alternatives to chemical pesticides. In addition, we are getting ready to expand beyond Lebanon by 2026. We are seeking $3 million in equity investment to scale powder production and launch our biological control products. But we are looking for more than capital. We need strategic partners who can open international markets, support certifications, and expand distribution. Without funding, we stay under 1.5 million by 2028. With it, we can surpass $12 million and amplify our environmental impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Margot, for sharing your journey and also the path to growth. It's a great start of this session. Now let's turn our attention to a team that promises to transform the practices of livestock farmers. I'm pleased to introduce Alexander Kappas from Greener Herd. So Alex, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Greener Herd is building the world's largest digital herd. We bring modern data tools into a sector that feeds hundreds of millions of people across the Middle East. I'm Alexander Kappas, the founder of Greener Herd, and my background combines leadership in fast-growing tech companies with a lifetime around farming. Since launching in April this year, more than 5,000 farmers from 11 countries have joined. They have digitized over 200,000 animals and have created up to 46 data points per head. Our Arabic livestock content has been a major catalyst. It now reaches almost 2 million people each month and drives steady organic adoption. Livestock is obviously central to the MENA food system. 28 million producers raise 300 million head of livestock, yet the region still imports most of its red meat. Farmers struggle with low productivity, no access to financing, and almost no data to support decision-making or building climate resilience. Our mission is simple. We want to turn data into growth. When producers track nutrition, fertility, health, and performance, they reduce losses and increase returns. Those clean data streams also unlock credit scoring for banks and NGOs. And on a national level, Greener Herd gives ministries real-time visibility on subsidies, vaccines, and extension support so they can intervene effectively. We're using the data set we've generated to build AI visual recognition that identifies individual sheep and goats through a phone camera. In a region where fewer than 13% of animals have tags, this unlocks true traceability for the first time. Across the Middle East and Africa, more than 260 million producers manage close to 1 billion cattle, sheep, and goats. 70% of this herd consists of small ruminants, a segment which is almost entirely overlooked by Western technology and pharmaceutical companies. Greener Herd opens direct access to this massive underserved market. This commercial space is made up of livestock trade, feed sales, veterinary products, and livestock finance, and it represents one of the largest informal markets in the region. Greener Herd becomes the digital entry point into all of them. Our business model is straightforward. Farmers pay a subscription fee that starts at $5 a month. In the UAE and Lebanon, we deliver ground services, and once we roll out financing, we'll add initiation fees as they are deducted only from successful loans and grants. Our team brings the right mix of experience in livestock nutrition, app development, and scaling high-growth startups. This helps us work effectively at every level of the ecosystem, from small producers to corporates and ministries. Since we started, the last year has been insane. We incorporated in July 2024, joined Techstars, launched our first pilot program with the Innovation Accelerator, and released the app in April. So since then, we've grown to more than 5,000 active users and 200,000 animals across the region. We're now raising $1.2 million in a pre-seed safe. This will fund us through Q4 2027 and positions us to reach nearly $10 million in ARR with 43,000 users and more than 13 million animals under management. The capital will scale 3 priorities. First, the development of our visual recognition module. Secondly, our market expansion to sub-Saharan Africa. And third, our financing module. Everything we've built, everything you've seen so far was built with less than $200,000 in funding. We're ready to scale it across the region, and I invite you to join us on our mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. It's fascinating to see your traction in such a short amount of time. Next up, we have an innovation that is replacing traditional ovens with clean energy. Please extend a warm welcome to Hitav Gaza from Partners with the Sun. Hitav, over to you.
Thank you. Millions of people around the world depend on bread for survival. But bakers still rely on fuel to bake bread. And this is interrupting its production process, especially in underserved countries. I come from Lebanon, and if you want to feed 15,000 people per day, only bread, a bakery pays $100,000 for fuel bills yearly, contributing to 300 tons of CO2 emissions every year. At Partners with Sun, we offer bakeries a sustainable tool to produce bread: the industrial solar convection oven. The solar convection oven feeds a minimum of 15,000 people per day at zero fuel cost and zero CO2 emissions. Our innovation includes solar technology and hydrogen. It is a solar hydrogen system that supports bakeries' operations off-grid anywhere from remote areas to war zones. So far, we've received $500,000 in pre-seed investments and grants. We partnered with oven and bakery equipment manufacturers. We registered our patent in the Netherlands and globally. We sold 2 ovens in Lebanon and Pakistan, feeding today 30,000 people. And now we are an official vendor with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. We also secured partnership with energy and hydrogen equipment manufacturers like Honeywell, Horizon, and Supro. This year, we've been supported by the Acceleration Program Fund. And so far, we have significant milestones. We installed 1 solar system at a medium-sized bakery in Lebanon, saving the bakery 80% of its yearly fuel bills. And our solar hydrogen system is now under implementation to deliver a 100% off-grid bakery. And for scale up, we have 2 ongoing deals with similar bakeries in Lebanon. Today, we are looking for $1 million to finance 10 more off-grid bakeries. For our investors, they get their money back in less than 3 years. The bakeries saves $1 million in fuel bills every year, and a clean baked bread reaches 150,000 people every day. Join us to empower bakeries delivering clean baked bread for millions of people around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Hitaf. I think you offer a great example of how innovations help sustain food production in conflict-affected or energy-scarce areas. So now we will take a mini break from the pitches to now hear from the fireside chat guest. So let me hand over to my colleague, Milena Makasi, who is the country lead of Lebanon. Over to Milena.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me well, and welcome to our fireside chat on leveraging innovation for effective climate adaptation. Climate change is no longer a distant challenge. It is here, reshaping economies, communities, and lives across the globe. At the same time, we are seeing how communities are rising in order to meet these challenges, using innovation to adapt to new realities with greater efficiency. I am delighted to be joined by 2 distinguished voices. We have Antonella D'Aprile, Representative Country Director at WFP Jordan, and Lilhana Jovcheva, Deputy Country Director at WFP Lebanon. Thank you for joining us today. So let's begin by asking both of you, when we talk about climate adaptation, innovation is often seen as the missing link. How do you define innovation in this context? Is it technology, partnerships, or new ways of thinking? Maybe we can start with you, Antonella. Over.
Thank you, Malena. Good afternoon to all. Hi, Liliana, and all the participants online. First of all, also, let me thank you so much for having me today. And thank you to all the partners who believe in the power of innovation to drive climate resilience. It's inspiring to be here with entrepreneurs who are already turning challenges into opportunities. So for me, innovation in climate adaptation is not just about gadgets or new gadgets or high technology apps. It's anything that helps communities adapt faster and more affordably and effectively. Whether this is that could be a new technology or a fresh business model or simply a smarter way of doing things on the ground. So what we do here in Jordan is a proof of that. And we are seeing, for example, smart but yet very simple water-saving irrigation systems. We are seeing flat packed water tanks designed differently to maximize efficiency and natural seed treatment that protect crops from climate stress. So these are very practical solutions that farmers can actually use, solutions that increase climate resilience while creating also new economic opportunities. So innovation happens when the right people are empowered to solve the right problems. When women, youths, farmers, and local entrepreneurs are co-designing these solutions to national challenges, these ideas become more grounded in reality and far more likely to scale because they are owned by the community and aligned with real market needs and national priorities.
Thank you so much, Antonella, for this answer. And maybe over to you, Liliana.
Thank you, Malena, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are. Antonella, it's wonderful to see you too and to be part of this panel together with you, and also wonderful to see JP as well after a long while, as well as other colleagues and especially entrepreneurs or ventures from Lebanon. You've heard the voices, and I think in itself, what was just presented speaks tons in terms of how you can trigger innovation. Any adaptation, but especially in the current global context, the climate change adaptation can trigger unbelievable innovation because, and this is where programs like this one are so important. And to your question, Malena, whether it is technology, partnership, or new ways of thinking, I would say definitely all of the above. All three elements that you mentioned are incredibly important. In Lebanon, based on what you've seen and heard, we are very sure that the three ventures that were just presented and that we supported will have a footprint in the ecosystem of the climate adaptation. And not only in Lebanon, but also beyond. I mean, you could see already the rippling effect of some of the solutions that have been offered where they are getting, the innovation is getting uptake from other countries as well. Speaking about these three cases that were presented, it is very evident that what was done, there were real innovative solutions because they've utilized technology. And in the current world, it is impossible to do anything without using probably a top-notch technology. And they benefited from the partnerships, particularly the partnership with WFP and the Adaptation Fund to support, to receive technical as well as financial support. There will, obviously, goodwill to do positive change as well as new ways of thinking is obvious in the solutions that were provided, but also the enthusiasm, the passion, the belief in what is being done. Without it, I don't think any of this would have been possible. Therefore, all elements, all aspects form the basis of the success. At the current stage of irreversible climate change, innovations can help address can have impact, and we believe that supporting such innovations should be a strategic priority globally, obviously, but especially in countries such as Lebanon and others in the MENA region. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you both for setting the stage here. Let's now deep dive into how innovation can be embedded into broader strategies. And I would like to start with Antonella. From your vantage point, how can governments integrate innovation into national development strategies so that climate adaptation drives both resilience and economic growth? I think, Antonella, we cannot hear you, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, maybe it's important that I give you a bit of a context what Jordan is. So Jordan is one of the most water scarce countries in the world. With only 61 cubic meter of water per person per year. Which is projected even to fall further down, and which is far below the absolute scarcity threshold of 500 cubic meters. So Jordan is also one of the youngest population in the world. We have about 56% of the population which is under 30 years old. So that means that a large pool of educated and talented youth who can drive the future of a climate resilience economy is there. At the same time, we have agriculture, which remains a vital pillar for rural livelihoods, yet representing only in 2023 3.2% of the Jordan's workforce employed in agriculture. So, let's not forget that also Syria is still hosting one of the largest refugee population, which is about at least according to UNHCR 500,000 people. So agriculture definitely is one of those sectors in Jordan that has a potential. It's an untapped potential. And it is also central to food security, to rural livelihoods and economic opportunity. So what is this opportunity within the government actions or the government vision? They are trying to embed climate smart agriculture and innovation into the national development plans. And Jordan certainly is trying to make agriculture a bit more viable, more efficient, and more attractive, especially to the young population, as I was saying, representing most 32% of the Jordanian population, and to entrepreneurs. This approach can also absorb part of the youths entering the labor market and transform agriculture from a declining or unattractive option into a modern resilience and dynamic opportunity. By supporting agriculture with these, better and innovative approaches, the government can generate jobs, foster rural stability, secure food supply, and respond more effectively to the climate stresses. As a UN agency, as WFP, our facilitative role is really to introduce these innovative technologies, by creating evidence and trying to pave the way for public and private partnerships to lead this reframing the operational field level outcomes and the policy level frameworks. So how to embed with this young population, which is the opportunity, innovation, which we are trying to support as WFP through the Adaptation Fund, and smart policy. Agriculture in Jordan can become certainly a growth engine. Back to you, Melissa.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Antonella. And thank you also for sharing a bit of the context in Jordan and also for highlighting the opportunity, the big opportunity the agricultural sector has. And I believe this not only happens in Jordan, but also in many of the countries where we all come from. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Building on that, Lilhana, many governments and local actors struggle not with ideas, but with implementation capacity. From your experience, what does it take to translate innovative concepts into scalable community-level action, especially in fragile and resource-constrained settings?
Yes, obviously, governments play such an important role. And one critical ingredient, I would say, especially in fragile context, is the minimum what a government can do is create an enabling environment for such solutions to thrive and to be easy to set up and to experiment and to move ahead. So basically an environment that encourages such approaches, facilitates the journey and reduces the legal complications, if you want. Of course, in countries like Lebanon that are fragile, where the country has gone through a recent conflict and remains volatile, in addition to the climate challenges, the international support is also key because governments simply do not have the full capacity to provide the full support needed in terms of resources to scale successful startup and support and to follow them through in their journey to maturity. On the other hand, Lebanon is such a vibrant community, society, wonderful people, full of ideas, very adaptable themselves because of the context where they live. And therefore, it is what turns concepts into scalable actions, actionable solutions, is actually the presence of goodwill, know-how. So this, combined with enabling environment as well as resources in the form of grants or loans to provide the investment cost for whoever is initiating such ideas or solutions, conducive environment is essential. We also think that the academic institutions should play a critical, very important role at the core of this, both in terms of where innovation can start up, can originate from, can thrive, but also to help to institutionalize, document, collect the knowledge, and be able to pass it on in a credible way, obviously, to create that institutional memory as well, and to be able to build on it for future generations.
Mm-hmm. Perfectly, Hannah, and I couldn't agree more with you. I got the opportunity to work with Lebanon as well in this program. So yeah, I'm witness of the importance of the enabling environment, and also in our case, the Ministry of Agriculture has been a key player in enabling the startups to keep moving forward with their plans. So thanks for sharing that, and thanks for these powerful insights. Now, before we wrap up, I would like to bring the conversation to help us look into the future. Climate innovation won't succeed without the energy and the creativity of many entrepreneurs and, of course, young people as well. So let me ask you both, what role can entrepreneurs and young people play in driving climate innovation both locally and globally? And maybe we can start with you, Lilhana, this time. Over.
I would say young people are in the heart of all innovation. As they say, when you look at the world with fresh eyes, and this is what young people are looking at, it's fascinating, and it's like you're much more creative. Also because the knowledge doesn't stand in the way, it's not an impediment. So young people and entrepreneurs who have the muscle, let's say, to support such initiatives are the key building blocks of any change, especially when it comes to climate innovation. In Lebanon, for example, the 3 ventures that were supported through these initiatives are all led by young people, as you can see. They're very motivated intellectuals who are eager to make their solutions work, take pride in what they do, and they want to disseminate what they have, they want to share. WFP Lebanon also helped scale up many other innovations that were at early stages. They have proven very successful, and some were able to acquire international interest. This region is known for its bright young minds, youth, education, and healthy academic sector. These are the keys to drive climate innovation. Universities in Lebanon are full of young, smart people, packed with brilliant ideas who only need some orientation and little support to bring their innovative ideas to reality. Again, climate innovation, I would say, can be realized when the 3 elements we mentioned at the beginning are there. And in addition to that, the will of the youth, the government's enabling environment, and the right support and orientation from all the stakeholders.
Perfect. Thank you, Liliana. Maybe over to you, Antonella.
This time with the speaker working. Thank you, Malena. In Jordan, the youths and entrepreneurs are not the beneficiaries, they are the architects of the resilience of the country. So let's also remember that Jordan is home to a generation that is very well educated, as Liliana was saying, in Lebanon, a generation that is digitally savvy, fearless in the face of change, because also of the context in the region. Many of the ventures that we see through AFCIA are led by teams and farmers who can manage to blend agriculture, engineering, and business, and turning climate risk into a space for innovation and opportunity. So what we hear from the youth is that they don't want to simply be there to inherit another crisis. They want they don't want the future to happen to them, but they really want to shape their own future. So and we feel as WFP in Jordan that this is the ideal environment for entrepreneurship, and it's much stronger than ever, also for the fragile and volatile context that we see and we live every day in the region. Jordan's latest GEM report ranks this country as the second in the Arab region in both early stage entrepreneurship and established business ownership, proving again that this is the country where a hub for innovation can happen and can be also home for bold ideas. At WFP Jordan, we are absolutely committed to supporting this momentum, to support this transformation in agriculture, to support the youths. And we are also ready to make this investment through partnership in order to make the agricultural sector more climate resistance and more exciting for the people of Jordan. So
as we apologize, I have to cut here. Yes, maybe you can finish your last line. because we're a bit over
No,
time.
please.
Great. No, but thanks a lot. It was very, very insightful as well to hear what is the context of Jordan as well as the one in Lebanon. And thank you both, Antonella and Liliana, for sharing with us. I will go back to Sehoy now. Over to you, Sehoy. Thank you both.
Thank you, Melinda, and our panelists. I see that our online audience is very energized by this insightful discussion. And I hope you look at this session with new ways of thinking and also the opportunity of bringing innovation to bridge the missing links in climate adaptation work. So we will start the second half of our pitches from Jordan and Egypt. So first off, let's welcome Janice Gold from RDI Irrigation. She's on a mission to transform irrigation practices and increase yields for farmers. Jan, over to you.
Hello, I'm Jan Busing. I'd like to talk about water and food, two essential items for life. Farming uses between 70 to 80% of the world's fresh water. In water-stressed regions, food security is threatened. As Antonella mentioned earlier, Jordan is facing one of the worst water shortages in the world. As a result, families and farmers are struggling due to the climate stress. RDI is a game changer in irrigation. This globally patented irrigation system interacts directly with plant roots. The nanotechnology tube is buried under the surface and releases less water only when the plants need it. As a result, RDI can double food production using half the water compared to traditional irrigation systems. RDI staff visited and worked in Jordan to present the system and to train key stakeholders about the technology. We provided hands-on in-field training. In the fall, we installed on 70 farms with nearly equal gender participation. RDI also engaged a local farmer who is providing weekly visits and ongoing follow-up and support on the projects where the technology's been installed. The program will run through the spring and data is still being collected, but currently farmers are reporting positive results and satisfaction with the system, saving water, fertilizer, and ease of use for the technology with great plant health. RDI can save at least 6 million liters of water per hectare per year. If the technology is expanded to half of the smallholder farmers in Jordan, more than 602 billion liters of water could be saved annually. That means enough water to meet the needs for more than 7.5 million households per year. Smallholder farmland ranges between 3 to 10 hectares. By gradually implementing the system to the farms, with 300 farms in 2026 and then adding farms every year over the next 5 years, billions of liters of water can be saved every year, helping Jordan farmers to adapt to climate change and preserving precious water resources for more than 7 million households in Jordan every year. To kickstart adoption and expansion in Jordan, RDI is asking for $1 million in 2026 to implement the following plan. We have a detailed program to achieve these targets. We do want to work with the youth through university programs and also emphasizing the need for remote real-time monitoring to de-risk the implementation of new innovations like RDI. We're also working with officials in Jordan at this time on employing refugees to create carbon sinks on degraded land, which will result in employment and independence for these refugees. Thank you for your time. We appreciate your support. Help us eventually reach over 15,000 farmers and ensure water to more than 7 million families every year.
Thank you, Jan, for sharing the results and also the testimonials from the field. I see that our audience from the chat are also very impressed by the results. Our next picture is tackling the similar issues of water scarcity, but from a different angle. Let's welcome Paul Mendieta from Deploy Tech. Paul, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Here we are. There you go. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul, CEO of Deploy, and thank you for joining us today in our presentation for WFP Adaptation Fund project in Jordan. So what if I told you that Jordanian farmers are unknowingly pouring away up to 50% of their water and their hard-earned profits every single year? When we first arrived, we thought our Deploy tanks wouldn't be a good fit here. Cheap plastic tanks and pear-shaped wells seemed accessible and affordable. But the reality hit hard. These solutions are traps. Plastic tanks are small, forcing frequent small buys from trucks at inflated prices, $20 for just 4 cubic meters every 10 years. And they leak after 2 or 3 years anyway. And pear-shaped wells with up to 30% of farmers unable to dig due to unstable soil. For the rest, invisible cracks waste up to 50% of water, turning this scarce resource into silent bankruptcy. So the brutal truth, it's not storage costs killing farmers, it's water costs, which continue rising from 5 to 10% yearly as aquifers vanish, trapping them in poverty. The Deploy 14R is a repairable concrete tank, flat packed for transportation, hardens in 24 hours, stores 14,000 liters with a 20-year lifespan. Leak detection, repairability, and factory consistent quality beat unreliable contractor wells, meeting ISO standards. Our tanks deliver a 7-year ROI by saving farmers $300 yearly on leaks, plus $300 on bulk buys. We are deploying 17 units until the end of December, mainly to cooperatives and farming organizations, sparking demand. During this period, we have validated the methods of transportation, a speed of installation, which is 1 tank per crew per day, and interoperability with Jordanian pipes and valves. With this foundation, we envision a transformative rollout, hundreds of units in 2026, scaling to nearly 15,000 by 2030, and ultimately closing the water storage gap for all smallholder farmers in Jordan by 2035. But to reach this scale, the best path forward is through partnerships with governmental or institutional programs that can partially or fully fund mass deployment. Together, we can shatter the cycle of waste and put money back into farmers' pockets. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to also see your solutions on stage. Now let's hear from another simple yet very effective solutions that is transforming the traditional agricultural practices. I'm pleased to welcome Regina Redmond, CEO of Adaptive Symbiotic Technologies. Regina, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Regina Redmond here, founder and CSO of AST, where we make beneficial microbes for agriculture. Excuse me. Sorry about that. There we go. Since the 1980s, the globe has been getting hotter and drier, causing crop failures. This is quite urgent because we all need to eat. Now, the answer is simple. Let's generate stress-tolerant plants. Using traditional breeding and genetic approaches, however, has largely failed. And this is due to the fact that they have forgotten one of the fundamental truths in biology. It's a symbiotic planet, and no one, including ourselves, are alone in their bodies. And as it turns out, neither are plants. So our story began about 30 years ago in geothermal soils, where we found this plant thriving in very hot soils. And when we looked inside, we found this brown-colored fungus symbiotically associated with these plants that allowed these plants to adapt and survive in this habitat. Remarkably, we could take that same fungus and put it in this case, watermelon plants exposed to increasing temperatures. We found that with the fungus, the plants survived. Without, they did not. After many years of research and development, we came up with a product we call BioEnsure. It's a natural microbial product. It's simple, it's safe to use. For example, will the farmer just need add the product to the seeds and plant as usual, or they can dissolve it in water and apply the product in a foliar fashion. Since April, we've been working with 225 farmers in Jordan, 66 being women, with an average yield increase in crops ranging from 30 to 100% or more, return on investment being 250 to more than 1,000%. These corn plants or maize are grown in very high saline soils. And on the right, we see treated plants. They're much taller, lusher, more robust than their untreated counterparts on the left. So we are able to impart many different benefits to plants with our products. Moving forward, we would like to, of course, expand throughout Jordan for widespread adoption of the symbiotic technology, and then move into, of course, some of the surrounding MENA countries where we have already made some key contacts. The ask is $200,000 per country over a 4-year span. We'll begin with field testing again with a couple hundred farmers, establishing demonstration plots, allowing for registration. And then in the ensuing years, expand to cover more testing, make relationships, and start sales, where eventually by year 4, we'll have enough sales to obtain operational sustainability and further expansion. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. And I love to see that you're also supporting very closely with female farmers as well. I hope the audience is still energized. The last 3 pitches for this afternoon are homegrown ventures from Egypt, which I had the pleasure of working with. So first, we have a digital solution that helps smallholder farmers with advisories. Let me welcome Karim Amer, co-founder for Vice. Over to you, Karim.
Thanks a lot. Hi, everyone. Let me start by shedding some light on the huge challenges facing the agriculture sector. And at the top of these challenges are climate change and water scarcity, making the traditional knowledge of farming inapplicable and inefficient, and leading to billions of dollars of annual yield losses. Current approaches in precision agriculture have several limitations, and among these limitations that they are hardware dependent, expensive to acquire, and difficult to scale to several groups within the agriculture market, and definitely also difficult and hard to operate. And that's why we decided to build Farm Guru, a SaaS platform for precision and climate smart agriculture. Farm Guru is a sensorless platform, making it easily scalable to millions and millions of farmers. And it provides a comprehensive set of features such as crop monitoring, irrigation planning and intelligence, weather and climate analytics, and disease prediction. In addition, Farm Guru is powered by Gen AI to help automate the analysis process and transform data into actionable insights. The market is growing fast and globally on the MENA level and Africa level as well, and expected, for example, to reach $24 billion by 2030 globally. We believe the opportunity is huge, with 3.9 billion acres of total addressable market, with only 0.75 billion of acres engaged in a similar technology. Our target is to reach 7.5 million acres of market share, leading to annual recurring revenue of $30 million. So far, we have raised a pre-seed round of $500,000, and our product sales reached around $185,000. Farm Guru also have monitored thousands of acres from different groups in the agriculture sector, and we started to deploy for smallholder farmers in collaboration with the WFP team in Upper Egypt as well. And we have been receiving very positive feedback so far. Right now, we are raising a seed round of $2 million, and we will use this money to expand our business and operations within the next 2 years to help us achieve our target market share. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you, Karim. Now, with great pleasure, I'm inviting our next speaker, Carol from Noor Nation of Renewable Energy. Their innovation are upgrading the traditional flood irrigation with solar power systems. Over to you, Carol.
Hello, everyone. This is Carol. I'm here with Noor Nation, a multi-award-winning startup with a simple but urgent mission, bringing clean energy and safe water to vulnerable rural communities. Let me introduce you to Hani. Hani owns a small farm. He irrigates with traditional flood irrigation, wasting most of his water. He depends entirely on diesel pumps, unreliable and rising in cost. And like most small farmers, he has no access to convenient financing to upgrade. Hani is not alone. In Egypt, a typical farmland spends around $20,000 every year just on diesel for irrigation. To solve this, we created Lifebox, providing clean electricity and desalinated water together. A modular solar-powered unit, IT connected for real-time monitoring, a turnkey hardware software solution built for remote communities. We are addressing multi-billion dollar market across Egypt, MENA, and Sub-Saharan Africa, targeting 40 million US dollars in revenue by 2030. To reach farmers, we stay flexible. Lifebox is delivered through direct sales for agribusinesses, and for smallholder farmers, we created CS, Solar Irrigation as a Service, giving affordable access without any upfront purchase. Since 2022, we have deployed 33 Lifeboxes across Egypt, with installations expanded to the UAE and Tajikistan. We have generated $1.7 million in revenue, achieving 300% year-over-year growth this year. Our impact is measurable, from cutting emissions, desalinating water, to unlocking $700,000 in community savings and reach over 1,200 beneficiaries. Now we are scaling Lifebox into tech-driven CS model to support small farmers. CS replaces flood irrigation with modern, efficient irrigation powered entirely by solar. With CS, farmers pay as they grow, pre or post harvest via POS machine, increasing productivity and building a path to ownership in a few years. With support from the Adaptation Fund and WFP, we are deploying 3 CS pilots in Aswan and the Delta. We have signed MOUs with local community associations and are providing ongoing capacity building. For Hani and his fellow farmers, this means zero diesel, up to 85% less water, and significantly higher yields and income. To scale CS, accelerate energy and water security in Egypt, and enable financial inclusion, we are seeking 4 million US dollars in catalytic funding to deploy 100 additional CS systems by 2027, transforming 3,000 acres into solar-powered efficient agriculture with flexible payment mechanism. We are an impact-driven team dreaming of empowering 1 million people across Africa with clean energy and safe water by 2030. Thank you.